Dear students, welcome back to the first PUC chapter 12. Chapter 12 video 12.2 second video in this chapter. You know very well, after reduction of the syllabus for this 2021 examination, the chapter 10 and 11 have been cancelled. That's why I have been moved on to the ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ 12 10 ಮತ್ತು 11ನೇ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ನ ತೆಗೆದುಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ. 10ನೇ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, 11ನೇ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. They have been cancelled for 2021 examination. Now we shall come to know the video 12.2 areas of liberalization. There are some of the important areas of liberalization. There are various important areas of liberalization. Before going to be discussed which are those areas of liberalization, first is what is meant by liberalization. Liberalization means it is to be removing the restrictions economic activities of an economy and open up various sectors. Say, liberalization means removing the rules and regulations on economic activities and open up various sectors of an economy. ಯಾವುದೇ ಎಕಾನಮಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಹಾಕೋದು ಅಂತ. These rules and regulations are nothing but the restrictions. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನಿರ್ಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಹಾಕೋದು ಅಂತ. ನಿರ್ಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಹಾಕೋದು. Of economic activities and open up various sectors. It is to be get open for everyone for the open competition. In order to be create the open competition for each and every economies, what the government has been make the liberalizing of the rules and regulations. It could be called as liberalization. But liberalization can take place because of various export and also import oriented policy, technology and many other areas. What the areas have been come to taken place of these regulations? important areas of liberalization are first one, that is deregulation of industrial sector. Nothing but industrial sector reforms. Industrial sector reforms. Whatever the regulations were there, deregulation. Regulation means control. Deregulation means control has to be made free. Make free without restriction. It means the licensing system has been cancelled in some of the areas of the production. Whatever the industrial restrictions were there, they have been make it into deregulation. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೊದಲು ಯಾವ ನಿರ್ಬಂಧಗಳಿದ್ರು, ಕಠಿಣ ಕ್ರಮಗಳಿದ್ವು, ಅವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ತೆಗೆದು ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ deregulation of industrial sector ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. It has been taken in two ways. Regulatory mechanism were enforced. First one is nothing but industrial licensing. Industrial licensing get from government officials has been cancelled. It has been as per the goods produced. Whatever the types of license are needed, it is decided based on the type of the goods produced by the firm. That could be the one of the major reason for the deciding the licensing system. And private sector is allowed. Private sector was allowed to produce the goods and services in the sector or economy. In some of the sectors it could not be allowed in many industries. In many of the industries the private sector has not been allowed. Private sector na ಕೆಲವು ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಲೋ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. Some of the goods could be produced only in the small scale industries. Small scale industries. Some of the goods have been reserved for the small scale industries. And even a fourth, controls of price taxation. Controls of price fixation. Price fixation of the price has been a distribution and also distribution has been decided based on the type of the goods. Distribution of selected industrial products. Selected industrial products. So controls of price fixation and distribution of selected industrial products. It has been made to be get introduced only some of the industrial products for the fixation of the price, and also distribution has been made the restrictions to be get removed. This is what deregulation of industrial sector has been, two ways has been taken place. There is the industrial products. The ways is not two ways, it is only ways. Various ways of regulation were removed. The industrial restrictions have been removed in many ways. And even after the some of the industrial licensing was abolished for the almost all categories. Even after 1991, removed many of these restrictions. Whatever the restrictions have been, above restrictions have been removed. After especially in licensing system, it was industrial licensing was abolished. Say alcohol, cigarette, hazardous chemicals which can be make some of the hazardous industrial explosives. industrial, electronics, aerospace, drugs. Some of the pharma products, pharmaceuticals, and also many others have been made. Only industries need reservation. Public sector has been defense, autonomic and railway. That is atomic energy generation. Atomic energy generation and also railway transport. There are only three industries which are government owned industries for only defense products, atomic energy generation and also railway transport. These are the only three industries have been left with the government, others have been made other delicensing. Government owned industries only need permission of license. These industries must need the licensing. Other industries no need to be have the licensing system also can be. It has been made the reserved for the some of the industries. Second, the financial sector reforms. Secondly, financial sector reforms. This is for 5 marks only. The financial sector reforms and explain ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. It is for 4 marks. In the financial sector, it has been made drastic changes in the banking sector. Especially for the financial sector includes all financial institutions which can involve in the financial matters, like financial institutions, commercial banks, investment banks. Commercial banks, investment banks, and foreign exchange market. Commercial banks, almost all commercial banks which have been working for the commercial profit. Investment banks, those who can invest in the profitable business, and even the foreign exchange market is nothing but the share market, and also many other exchanging of currency of one country to another country. So India has been regulated by the Reserve Bank of India, RBI. Say, Reserve Bank of India has been made the regulator into the facilitator. Reserve Bank ಅನ್ನ regulator ಅಂತ ಏನಿತ್ತು ಅದನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದುಬಿಟ್ಟು facilitator ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ನ ಬರೇ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು, ಅದ್ರ ಬದಲಾಗಿ ಅದು ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಗೆ, ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಜನಗಳಿಗೆ, ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ whatever the facility are needed, it is to be get extended and cooperated by the Reserve Bank of India instead of just regulating with the rules and regulations. ಹಾಗಾಗಿನೇ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಂತಹ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅನ್ನ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೇಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಈ 1991 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಂತಹ ನ್ಯೂ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಲಿಬರಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ financial sector reforms alli, the types of banks also have been make it into change. What is the aim of this? Its aim was, it is to be make the Reserve Bank of India, aims of financial sector reforms. Aims of financial sector reforms is nothing but to be called as, what is the role of RBI? As this is important. So from regulator to the facilitator, it has been get changed the role of the Reserve Bank of India. This means financial sector has to be get allowed to be take the decisions on many matters without consulting the Reserve Bank of India. Because this has been rejected that without RBI consult banks financial decisions. See, why it has been made the regulator of the role of the Reserve Bank of India to the facilitator means it is to be made each and every banks or financial institutions can consult without consulting of the Reserve Bank of India. Banks can possibly take the financial decisions independently. This has a major role to play. Not only for this, it has been policy has been made the Reserve Bank of India approval system for the branches, and even the foreign investment limit. Say foreign investment limit, it has been increases to the 50%. Up to 50% it can possibly get increase. Earlier it was less than that. And not only for that, it is to be get. Even it has been fulfill the conditions, it can possibly get extend even for 100%. ಅಂದರೆ ಕೆಲವು ಏರಿಯಾಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಹೇಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನಿಯಮಗಳನ್ನು ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 100% ಸಮೇತ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅದು ಅಲೋ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬೀನ್ ಗಿವನ್. See, whatever the number of branches can possibly get increased, it has a freedom for the respective financial institution. Not only for this, it has given the freedom for the to generate resources. It can possibly get generate the resources also can. ಅದು ತಂದೆ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಫಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮೇಜರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬೀನ್ even to safeguard the account holders, to safeguard the account holders, foreign institutional investors. It has been established. Government of India, with the help of the Reserve Bank of India, it has been introduced and established the foreign institutional investors institution has been established. Investors as merchant, bankers, mutual funds. Merchant banks, mutual funds, pension funds. These are some of the regulations have been liberalized to make allow the investment in the Indian financial market. They have been allowed. So in this way, merchant banks, mutual funds, pension funds and also many others have been allowed to be invested in Indian financial market. ಅಂದರೆ ಭಾರತದ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣವನ್ನು ಹೂಡಿಕೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇವರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅವಕಾಶವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಾಗಿಯೇ FII ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯನ್ನು ಹುಟ್ಟು ಹಾಕುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮೇಜರ್ ರೀಸನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ and even banks. In the foreign, it can possibly be get allowed. It has been allowed to be get open the branches also can be. Any bank can be open the branches. These are the financial sector reforms of India after 1991 new economic policy reforms. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಸ ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ನೀತಿ ಜಾರಿಗೆ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಣಕಾಸು ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾರಿಗೆ ಬಂದಂತಹ ಕೆಲವು ನೀತಿಗಳು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ರಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್. Tax reforms. First of all, tax. What is meant by tax? Tax means a compulsory payment made by the public to the government without concerning or expecting any direct benefit could be called as tax ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಡ್ಡಾಯವಾಗಿ ಜನಗಳು ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ನೀಡುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ವಂತಿಕೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಅನುಕೂಲವನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರದು, ಅದನ್ನ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ದ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟೂ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್. It has direct tax and also indirect tax. But what is meant by tax reforms? Tax reforms refer to the reforms in government's taxation. Taxation. In government taxation and public expenditure policies. Public expenditure policies. Is also called as fiscal policy. Tax reforms are nothing but to be called as fiscal policy. Fiscal policy andru onde, tax reforms andru onde. They are nothing but the government's taxation. How the government can fix the tax and also have the burden of tax, and public expenditure policies. ಅಂದರೆ ತೆರಿಗೆಯ ನೀತಿ ಅಂತ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತೆರಿಗೆಯ ನೀತಿಗಳು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಹೇಗೆ ತೆರಿಗೆಯನ್ನು ವಿಧಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತು ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಹೇಗೆ ಹಣವನ್ನು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ತೆರಿಗೆಯನ್ನು ವಿಧಿಸುವುದು ಮತ್ತು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡುವುದು. ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ದ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಫಿಸ್ಕಲ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಅಂತಂದು ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ವಿತ್ತೀಯ ನೀತಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಕಮ್ ಟು ದ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದರೆ, ದ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಸ್. First one is the direct tax. The tax burden has been by the person. The taxes on incomes of individual and profit of any institutions or companies, profits of business enterprises. Is called as direct tax. Example for direct tax: income tax. Say it might be the taxes on individual income and profits of business enterprises is called as ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜನಗಳ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕ ಆದಾಯದ ಮೇಲಿನ ತೆರಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಕಂಪನಿಗಳು ಪಡೆಯತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಲಾಭದ ಮೇಲಿನ ತೆರಿಗೆ, ಇವುಗಳನ್ನು ಸೇರಿಸಿ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಆದಾಯ ತೆರಿಗೆ, ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಷನ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಕಂಪ್ನಿಯವರು ಕಟ್ಟತಕ್ಕಂಥ ತೆರಿಗೆ, ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಹುದ್ದೆಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಕೆಲಸ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನೌಕರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ನೌಕರಿ ಮೇಲಿನ ಸಮೇತ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. And even the indirect taxes. Second one. The taxes on goods and services is called as mercantile tax ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Levied on taxes levied on commodities are called indirect taxes. ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ವಸ್ತುಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಕ್ತೀವೋ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, GST ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. It is nowadays GST tax is very common. Since 2016 it has been reduced. 2016 there has been the indirect taxes of GST ಅಂತ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಫಾರಿನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ರಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್. Foreign exchange reforms. In the foreign exchange reforms, it has been the reform in the foreign exchange market. Foreign exchange market in which it has been made the balance of payment crisis. It has been made the balance of crisis removed from the improvement of the exports. That's why it has been encouraged. Exports. It has been made a special care for the improvement in the exports level of India also can be, and also increase in the inflow of the foreign. By increasing the inflow of the foreign investment and foreign exchange, it has been made the same foreign currencies. That's why it has been made foreign exchange. Against foreign currencies Indian rupee was devalued. ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದ ನಾಣ್ಯವನ್ನ ರೂಪಾಯಿಯನ್ನ ಹೊರದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಲಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನು ನಾವೇ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಡಿವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಕಮ್ ಟು ನೋ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೀನ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಡಿವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ರುಪಿ ಅಂತ. Devaluation means deliberate reduction in the value of the currency. Reducing the value of domestic currency. Domestic currency in terms of other currencies. Devaluation means reducing the value of domestic currency in terms of other currencies is called as devaluation. By having the devaluation, it has been made the Indian rupee exchange rate in the foreign market, and freedom has been given. See, based on the demand and supply, it has been made to be get about the fixation, freedom of the fixing the foreign exchange rate. At last, we shall finish it with the trade and investment policy reforms. Trade and investment policy reforms. Trade and investment policy reforms. In the trade and investment policy, it has been made the promote. Main aim was to be main aim was to promote the efficiency of the local industries and adopting new foreign technology. And even quantitative restrictions. To protect domestic industries. Quantitative restrictions were removed. Quantitative restrictions were removed on imports. And even it has been to be encouraged by controlling the imports by keeping tariffs very high. by higher fixing tariffs on imports. By keeping the higher fixation of the tariffs on imports, it has been increased the exports also can, and even import licensing. The trade policy reforms has been de-maintaining the quantity restrictions on imports and exports. Trade policy reforms aimed at trade policy reforms has been made by dismantling the quantitative, removing the quantity restrictions. Quantitative restrictions have been removed on imports and exports. The imports and exports restrictions have been removed. And secondly, reduction in the tariff rates. Tariff rates have been reduced and removal of licensing procedures. It has been liberalized, the licensing system also can be, and import licensing was abolished. Export duties removed. These are the some of the, this is trade policy reforms have been made by the government of India. This is areas of liberalization. Thank you very much. This is lecturer Basuraj, Economics Department.